Mothers are more important than we think. The burden of your redemption was upon a woman at a point in time. Women have always been in the forefront. They've always been the first to lead us into whatever God is doing. But we keep saying they can't preach. Oh, they can sing. Let them lead worship. No, woman's supposed to lead worship. They can do announcement. Not here. You can't see God moving upon a woman and you go, oh, because, how? Why? If she can bless me, why? Why? That's a lie from the pit of hell. When the plan of redemption was going to be hashed out, God came to a woman by the name Mary. Not man, but a woman. And what God did was he threw the burden of redemption on that lady. Young woman. Not experienced, never had children. He threw that burden of God's entrance into this realm on a woman. And yet, the most educated among us still feel they can't lead. They can't be minister. They can't preach. But when it comes to the matters of the home, oh, we trust them to run it. You can be away for 2 weeks. You are not worried because your wife is home. You can be away for a year. You are not worried. You just believe that your children will be fine. You can trust them with that. So Mary bore that weight. It took some time before Joseph will share in that burden. It took time. Peter denied Jesus, not Mary. When those blood were gushing out, she was there. She stood. There are things Peter don't know about the Christ that only Mary knew. It will take revelation for Peter to come into that place. The burden of salvation, the burden of your redemption was upon a woman at a point in time. Women have always been the first, but society and even the church always have gone against this. It's a natural truth. So Mary was the first to know that the fullness of time has come. Did anybody on the earth knew that Christ was about to be born when Gabriel appeared to Mary? No. So she was the first. When Jesus resurrected from that grave, who was the first to see her? It was Magdalene, not Peter. He told her, I said, don't touch me. I have not ascended. The woman that broke the alabaster oil and buried Jesus before death, she emptied that oil upon him. A woman, not a man. When you read scripture, you are following apostles. Apostle Peter, Philip. The nameless Samaritan woman by that well was the first evangelist to evangelize her city, and she took Samaria for God. That was before Philip, the apostle who evangelized Samaria, would come. She was the first. When Jesus healed 10 lepers, did they even return? Let alone to go preach. But this woman, she was not sick. She had an interaction and she became an evangelist instantly. Brought her city to their knees. The Bible said the men came, they followed her. Come, see a man who told me all things that I ever did. That's an evangelist. That's what we go doing. That's witnessing. Could this be the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came to him. She brought them down. Paul talked about a woman named Phoebe in the book of Romans chapter 6. If you read from verse 1, Paul said Phoebe was the best deaconess he is sending to the church of Rome. She was a notable deaconess in the church in Corinth, then in Greece, who Paul trusted with the letter he wrote to the Romans. Paul gave it to her and said, take it to them, and wrote her name in that letter and said, this one I'm sending is a notable deaconess, a deacon minister. He said, treat her right. That was a woman. I don't know if you've heard of the name Junia in Romans chapter 16 in verse 7. Paul talked about her being an outstanding among the apostles. So women were actually apostles at that time. It was Paul who made mention of her. Lydia was the first merchant mentioned in scripture to support the church so much that the burden of the church where she lived was upon her. I know you know Priscilla, who Paul talked about in Romans chapter 16 from verse 3. She was the first assistant pastor of the church that was in Corinth then. Miriam, in that church in the wilderness with Moses, was the first female choir director. She was the one leading songs. Deborah was the first woman to lead Israel into battle. She wasn't just a judge, she was both judge and a prophetess. And not just that, she was actually a military leader. The Bible says she would sit under a tree and there she judged Israel. Esther was the one that saved Israel from extermination. There were no men who could rise to the occasion at that time. They all were waiting for Esther and say, please, you have to help us now. Mordecai, her uncle, had to send a message to her and say, listen, the thing will come to you too in the palace. What this guy is trying to do, he's trying to kill us all. And she said, if I perish, I perish. Though it is against the law to go before the king at this time Because anyone who does do not come back alive. She said, but I will go. Tell them to pray, and I and my maidservant will begin to pray. Women, mothers are more important than we think.